somewhere in your house, there's a dog bowl. And there's a good chance that bowl and the way you fill it is based on advice that turned out to be completely backwards. I don't mean the food, I mean the bowl itself. Because for years, dog parents were told that raising the bowl off the ground was the responsible thing to do. Better posture, easier swallowing, and critically, protection against the one condition that terrifies every large dog parent: bloat. Then researchers actually went and measured it. And what they found flipped the advice completely on its head. Let's back up because you need to understand what bloat actually is. The proper name is gastric dilatation volvulus, GDV. The stomach fills with gas and then twists on itself, cutting off its own blood supply. It is fast, it is agonizing, and without emergency surgery, it kills. For a deep-chested dog, it is genuinely one of the worst things that can happen. So naturally, dog parents will do anything to lower the odds. And for years, the advice was, get the bowl up off the floor. Then in the year 2000, a team at Purdue University led by Dr. Larry Glickman published a 5-year study in the Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association. They followed over 1,600 large and giant breed dogs. They tracked who bloated, who didn't, and what those dogs had in common. And here is what they found. Dogs fed from a raised bowl were not protected. They were at greater risk. In their data, roughly 20% of bloat cases in large breeds and around half of the cases in giant breeds were attributed to eating from a raised feeder. Read that again. The thing sold as protection was associated with the problem. And it isn't just one paper. A later review of the evidence looked across the research and found no study, not one, showing that a raised feeder actually lowers bloat risk. Their conclusion was simple. For an at-risk dog, the safest option, based on what we currently know, is a bowl on the floor. Now, the same study surfaced a second risk factor, and this one is entirely in your control: speed of eating. Dogs who ate faster were significantly more likely to bloat. And when you think about the mechanics, it makes sense. A dog that inhales a bowl of food in 90 seconds is swallowing air with every mouthful, gulping, gasping, filling a stomach with far more than just dinner, which means slowing your dog down isn't fussiness. Based on the evidence, it's one of the few levers you actually have. Now, I want to be careful here because this is where a lot of videos go wrong. First, this research was done on large and giant breed dogs. If you've got a small dog, bloat is far less likely to be your issue, and you don't need to panic about the height of a bowl. Second, nobody is claiming a raised bowl causes bloat on its own. Bloat is complicated. Genetics matter enormously. A dog with a close relative who bloated carries a much higher risk. Age matters, breed matters. A Great Dane sits in a completely different risk category to a Labrador. And after all these years, the exact cause still isn't fully understood. And third, if your vet has you using a raised bowl for a specific reason, a neck problem, a mobility issue, a swallowing disorder, then listen to your vet, not to me. That's a real medical judgment about your individual dog. But strip all that away, and what's left is this. Millions of dog parents raised their dog's bowl because they were told it was safer. The best available evidence says it wasn't. And most of them still have no idea. So what do you actually do with this? If you've got a large or deep-chested dog, the bowl goes on the floor unless your vet says otherwise. That's it. That's the whole change. It costs nothing. Then slow the eating down, whether that's spreading the food out, using something that makes them work for it, or simply not letting them face plant into a full bowl after a run. The goal is fewer gulps, less air, a calmer stomach, and learn the signs, because this is the part that saves lives. A swollen, tight belly, retching without bringing anything up, restlessness, pacing, an inability to settle, drooling. If you see that combination in a big dog, that is not a wait and see. That is a drive to the emergency vet right now. Here's the thing that stays with me about all this. Nobody who raised their dog's bowl was being careless. They were doing exactly what they were told by people they trusted because they loved their dog. That's what makes it worth knowing. Good intentions aren't the same as good evidence. And the moment better evidence arrives, the loving thing to do is change your mind. So go and look at your dog's bowl. It might be the easiest thing you ever fix. If that surprised you, wait until you hear what the science says about how much your dog should actually be eating. Stick around, and I'll see you in the next one.